Welcome back everyone, Mariah here, and in today's video we're going to be going over Bitcoin's price, where I see it headed in the near term, the long term, and what my recent purchases have been. So let's go and take a look at the Bitcoin chart. I am Atlantic Standard Time, and right now Bitcoin is $36,612. So we're going to start at the daily chart, and then we're going to move over into smaller time frames. So here on the daily chart, there's still about 4 hours and 47 minutes left. So what would be extremely bullish if we see this 2 right here flip over from a red to a green and it go above this 1. So the high of this particular candle is $39,697. That would be extremely bullish for Bitcoin. Obviously Bitcoin moves very quickly, and especially on the weekends, and especially towards the evening times here in the US, because that's when Asia wakes up. So it actually is somewhat probable, but Bitcoin needs to gain some legs there. You can see here, we obviously topped around the $42,000 range, and we had a nice 4 candle pullback. And so Bitcoin's pretty much, primed in my opinion to reach new all-time highs within the next week or so. So let's go ahead and look at the 12-hour chart. So once we topped, we had a nice 6 candle pullback, and then we only had a 4 candle upside situation over here, and it would be very bearish if Bitcoin this 2 breaks below this 1, and the low of this candle right here is 35,532. So we really want Bitcoin to hold that price. We really don't want it to go down much more than $1,000 from this point in time right here. Let's take a look at the 4-hour chart. So we could see here that Bitcoin made a higher low, which is good. If this 3 right here can go above the 2, which would be above 37,895, then that would be extremely bullish, a bullish scenario for Bitcoin. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 1-hour chart. So yeah, as long as Bitcoin in this situation does this 9 candle, if we have 2 more candles left, and if we manage to stay above the low of this candle right here, which is the 36,626, then we'd be making a higher low, and that would be another bullish scenario. So it just kind of depends what Bitcoin does in the next few hours. We really don't want to see it drop more than $1,000 from here. Let's go and take a look at the 30-minute. So the 30-minute isn't necessarily looking all of that bullish, but there's this support line here at 35,865. So that's another support level as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 15-minute. 15-minute also. So the shorter time frames are still leaning bearish, while the higher time frames are still looking quite bullish. This might be a good opportunity here on this green 9 as a purchase. And the 1-minute chart, it's looking like it potentially made a higher low, and so it might be set up here for a little bit of upside in the next few minutes. So what I can say is this: I don't have much money on the sidelines right now. I have about 12 to 13,000. Well, if I consider the money in my bank account, maybe closer to like 16 or 17,000 on the sidelines. I'm pretty much all in at this point. And what I can say is that I did recently, my last Bitcoin purchase was, I think it filled, let's see here. So the most recent purchase I made was for 1/3 of a Bitcoin at 36,415. It was obviously a great trade when Bitcoin was up at 39,000, and I thought Bitcoin was going to continue going, but it's at the point now where it's basically no profit and no loss. So it's just kind of dangling in that range. I don't plan to sell it. I do plan to continue holding that. I want to go ahead and take a look at DOT, which has just been really quite interesting the last few days. It's up 32% in the last 24 hours. I started buying DOT around the $5 range, and I had actually taken out a USDC loan from Nexo, and I had some of it sitting ready to buy a Bitcoin dip, but I just had this feeling that I needed to go ahead and jump into DOT. So I started purchasing around the $12, $13, $14 range. And so basically yesterday I threw 15,000 at DOT. That position is already up approximately $4,500, and I still have another 5,000 of buy orders ready to go for DOT as well. Link's been doing extremely well. I have a somewhat of a small position on Link, and so that's what I'm seeing there. But let's go ahead and take a bit of a closer dive here on DOT and see how things are looking, because since I basically used USDC to buy a portion of my DOT holdings, I am not necessarily, I mean, by short term, this is the thing. So on Nexo, when you take out a loan, you have to pay that loan back basically within a year, but the minimum interest you pay is 30 days. So for example, let's say I take it out on January 1st, I'm technically going to have to pay interest for the entire month of January, no matter when I return the loan. So I'm better off just holding on to it for 30 days because I'm gonna have to pay the same amount anyway. So that's kind of like the situation I'm in there. But DOT still has plenty of room for upside on the daily chart. We were only on a green 4. That could be 5 more days of upside. Like, I wouldn't be that surprised if it takes us all the way to $25. And on the 12-hour chart, let's see, we have 4.5 hours left on this candle. We have one more candle after this. So maybe what we'll see is a 9 candle, a 1 to 4 candle pullback, and then up again up to 25,000. So still more upside on the 4-hour chart. The 4-hour chart looks really, really great. Consolidating here on the 1-hour chart. So like, for example, if I wanted to get in like short term, this is how I determined to play some of my buy orders, was I basically take this moving average here, and usually very frequently DOT's going to pull back to that moving average. Sometimes it's going to go below it, but just conservatively, you could see here, I mean, all of these times it bounced here, it bounced here, it bounced here, it bounced here. So, I mean, I'm going to have some orders set at the $15.99, $16 range. Let's go and look into some smaller time frames. A little bit of consolidation here on the 30-minute chart. 15-minute chart, also some consolidation as well. And I'm not going to bother with the shorter time frames, but that's my game plan there. I'm really paying attention to adding more to my DOT position and taking profit when necessary on my Bitcoin position. But like I said, I'm not really rushing this because technically I still have another approximately 2 weeks of when that Nexo, not when the loan is necessarily due, but when I would pay the least amount of interest possible. So I'm just keeping an eye on things there. And as well as Ethereum, because one good move I'm really glad that I made was over the last 2 weeks, I traded 3 Bitcoin for Ethereum, and that's up significantly. I bought at the 0.0315 range, and so it's doing extremely well, especially today. And I also bought a decent amount of Ethereum with my USDC loan. So I'm going to be scaling out a little bit of my Ethereum position, but let's go ahead and take a deep dive into Ethereum as well. So Ethereum, gosh, this daily chart is looking so beautiful. We have a green 2 going above a green 1 that gives us 7 days for more upside. So I would say that within the next week, we're absolutely going to crush all-time highs. Ethereum is probably going to go berserk this week. On the 12-hour chart, still some room for upside there. Hopefully we don't run into a double top. Here on the 4-hour, the 4-hour looks really, really good as well. We made a higher low. Let's see on this candle over here, and we still have approximately 6 more candles at least of upside. And on the 1-hour, a little bit of a pullback here. Probably see a 4 candle correction down to like approximately 1200 would be a good place to put some buy orders. And 30-minute chart, still some probably room for downside here. I would also, this looks like a 1200 still looks like a good place to place some buy orders. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking there when it comes to Bitcoin, Ethereum, and DOT. Those are, for the most part, my biggest holdings, and so I'm really paying attention to those, finding good opportunities to scale out, to go and pay back some of that USDC loan that I have through Nexo. And I'm going to go ahead and place my link down below if you want to sign up for Nexo. So just to kind of give you guys an idea, you can earn between 5 and 6% annually on your Bitcoin, which is awesome. You can earn a little bit more if you want to earn in the Nexo token. And also, depending on how many Nexo tokens you hold, will determine what percentage of loan interest rate you'll get. So that's all I have for you today. As always, go out there and create a portfolio that you love.